Are folks more interested in politics, or are they more interested in solving the problem? If they're interested in solving the problem, then this can be solved. If the preference is for politics, then it won't be solved.
Welcome to the Journal Editorial Report. I'm Paul Gigot. That was President Obama in Dallas this week, attempting once again to frame the debate over immigration and pointing the finger at Republicans for failing to act. Under fire for his decision not to visit the Texas border during a 3-day fundraising swing through the state, the president is asking Congress for $3.7 billion in emergency spending to help deal with the influx of tens of thousands of unaccompanied children from Central America, a situation that has developed into a political and humanitarian crisis for the administration. Joining the panel this week, Wall Street Journal editorial board member Dorothy Rabinowitz and columnists Kim Strassel and Mary Anastasia O'Grady. So, Mary, you followed this issue for years, migration from the Americas to the United States. What is behind this influx of children?
Well, I think, Paul, what you have is a combination of factors, both push and pull factors. So from Central America, you have lots of crime and violence.
Right.
And that's well documented. General Kelly wrote a piece for the Military Times this week saying that the effect of the war on drugs in Central America has created a chaos, really, and a breakdown of institutions in Central America.
What are the pull factors?
People want to get away from that.
Right.
And the pull factors, I think, are, first of all, most important is an asylum opportunity that children have because of a law passed in 2008 during the Bush administration.
Right.
Bipartisan, that says that children who arrive in this country and claim that they are here, that they need asylum, are entitled to a hearing.
Right.
And that hearing can take up to 2 years. And so they know that if they get here, they can stay for some period of time while they await their hearing.
If they're from Central America, Mexico, children from Mexico and children from Canada have to be sent back. And this is a law that was attempting to stop human trafficking.
It was attempting to give children who are on the run a chance. And the fact that they're Central American children, I think, is really complicating the situation because they cannot be sent back according to U.S. law. Now, if Congress wants to change that law, that's fine. But under the law, and Republicans say that they believe in the rule of law, these children have the right to a hearing. And unfortunately, because the courts are so backed up, that can take up to 2 years.
But a lot of their parents also are here for economic reasons, are they not? I mean, the parents, for example, some of the parents are sending for their children to come to join them here or join their aunts and uncles or other people who are already here because they've come here for economic reasons.
Right. I mean, what I was trying to explain is that the crime and the violence are one of the factors, but the other factor is that they know that if they get here, they are probably going to be able to stay with their families for up to 2 years. And in those circumstances, they have better economic opportunities and they are safer and they escape the gangs.
All right, Dorothy, would you agree with some of those who claim that maybe the president wanted this influx over the border because maybe this would help get immigration reform passed?
Well, yes, and I suspect he wanted it for a number of other political reasons as a thrust against the Republicans. But
I mean, maybe making the Republicans look uncompassionate or something?
Indeed, this has been the great stick he's used against them. And I think there is a certain amount, not entirely, of myth-making about the causes of these children's influx, one of them being the great and terrible violence that's taking place. Violence has been taking place in these disordered societies forever.
So you put more emphasis on the pull factors, the
Absolutely.
Promise of being able to stay here in the United States.
And you have to think, I mean, these are heartbreaking sights. There's no question about it. But these children largely are pawns. If you can imagine parents sending these babies over these incredibly dangerous treks for the purpose of escaping the violence and danger of their communities, you have to raise questions about the motive of sending these people.
I will say, Dorothy, I disagree with you on whether the president wanted to see this, because if he did, this was the dumbest strategy for getting immigration reform passed. This has set back immigration reform for years, I think. So, Kim, how well do you think the president is handling this?
Well, look, this has led to, actually, I agree with you, very awkward politics, not just for him, but for other sides. His bigger issue, quite aside from the complaints that he didn't go down for a visit while he was fundraising in Texas, this is a guy whose left has already been beating him up for what they view are too many deportations already. And yet his response to this has had to be, in some ways, that he's going to get tougher on this and deport these children. So that it's awkward for them. Meanwhile, Republicans who spent their years saying the only problem is border security, that's kind of blown a hole in that argument, because as Mary said, I mean, people are not coming up and sneaking across the border. These children are coming being collected down there because under the law they're entitled to a hearing. And so what this all gets back to in the end is a failure, as you mentioned, of immigration reform, and both sides sort of bear equal guilt for not having done more in ways that would actually fix this problem rather than just trying to tread water and keep up with it.
Do you think the president, Dorothy, should have gone to the border and it looked like he was inspecting this and on top of the issue?
Yes, the answer is. However, I don't think the president feels quite like the president he was before that, and this was an expansion of his so sue me attitude towards public relations. This is the same person who went to hold Governor Christie's hand after the flood.
And Hurricane Sandy.
Yes, I mean, who took the trouble to do that, who suddenly can't move from a billiard-playing excursion.
Because you think that this is awkward politics for him, as Kim says?
It's awkward, and I also think it's a kind of helpless, so I actually think it's a kind of psychological breakdown of a sort, a kind of resistance to the role of a president, and it's saying, I don't have good approval in the ratings. Here's some more. I don't have to have a portrait of my compassion. You better know who I am.
All right, Dorothy Rabinowitz, thank you very much.